Being good sucks. That isn't some commentary on games that let you play as the villain or anything, this is just the reality that some games work with. Typically, the better you play, the more the game rewards you. You get stronger weapons, higher high scores, flashier cutscenes, all the kind of positive feedback that injects some of that sweet serotonin into my squishy head muscle. Some games don't work like that though. Some games see you nailing the mechanics, perfecting your strategies, or even just doing exactly what you've been taught to do, and they slap you across the face for it. Most of the time it's deliberate, as strange as that sounds, but sometimes it's either bad game design or glitches running the asylum. Either way, they share the commonality of punishing talented players, and I simply have to talk about that today. How can being good at a game be the worst thing you could do? There's some intense irony about Sonic the Hedgehog. Every time he turns up, it's all about that speed and how he's the fastest thing alive. There's even a song about it. And so you'd naturally assume that every game he's been in has always made zipping around at top speed the most important part of moment-to-moment gameplay. Well, it's not, since these are platformers at heart and do occasionally require a bit of precision to avoid hurtling face first into a bottomless pit, or into blowing all your rings at once. However, even then it is surprising just how much the first Sonic game discourages going fast. Partly through level design that deliberately slows you to a crawl, but also with what awaits you if you do end up finishing the stage as fast as possible. Sonic 1 has to be really fun to speedrun, right? Yeah? Why is everyone shaking their heads? What happened? The problem is quite simple and yet equally as stupid. At the end of every level, Sonic tallies up all your bonuses, which includes a time bonus, a ring bonus, and your overall score from jumping on all those bad guys, and it then counts it all down in real time. If you've done the level super fast, you've likely banked this absolutely massive time bonus, which then takes its sweet time to count down. You can't skip it, you've just got to sit there and take your reward one agonizing second at a time. Ironically, if you beat the level too quickly in Sonic 1, any kind of speedrun quite literally grinds to a halt. So instead, Sonic 1 speedrunners actually hang back a tad and avoid finishing levels too quickly. It might not seem like it, but it is actually faster in the long run to intentionally waste a few seconds so that the results screen doesn't waste more seconds. Bizarrely, the fastest way to play Sonic 1 is to slow down a bit. It may take me some time to recover from this betrayal. Metal Gear will outsmart you and shag your nan. Alright, maybe not that second one, but it has always been a series that rewards creativity. Every game gives you dozens of options for how you solve a problem, and a lot of them aren't laid out in front of you, so it encourages you to think outside of the box and get your creative juices flowing. For years, it worked off the philosophy that if you've thought of a weird thing to try, chances are that the crazy geniuses in the dev team have already put it in there. This came to a natural peak in Metal Gear Solid 5, where the stealth sandbox was huge and extremely playful. You have a staggering array of options to tackle any scenario. Sneak in quickly and leave undetected, or bring the big guns and reduce it all to ash, and just about everything in between. It is so much fun working out all the different things that you can mess around with, and it's great to see MGS5 organically promote all these options for you. Well, maybe organically isn't the right word. This game is watching everything you do. It takes notes on your habits, figures out what you're relying on, and then actively punishes you for it. Are you favoring headshots? Suddenly, most of the guards in an outpost or enemy camp are wearing helmets. Do you like smoke grenades? Whoops! Now soldiers are wearing gas masks. Prefer the low visibility of nighttime sneaking? Well, someone gave everyone night vision goggles. You end up finding a winning strategy only for the game to send you tumbling back to the drawing board, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a really odd feeling. MGS5 starts out all positive and accommodating with how you want to play through the game, but with almost the flip of a switch, it becomes really petty. It's like it gets bored of all the success you've been having and decides to fuck you around. And yeah, you can always adapt your tactics and try new approaches, but it always feels like the game is one step ahead, just waiting for a chance to shut down your next big idea. MGS5 doesn't just punish you for being good, it punishes you for being predictable. And that just hurts my brain a lot. It's okay though, they're giving helmets out now. I love a career mode in a sports game. I sink some serious money into FIFA or EA Sports FC or whatever it's called every year because it tickles that small part of my brain that wants to live out that fantasy as a football manager. You start out at the bottom, you build up your team or character, you climb the ladder, and then you look down from the top at the end of all of it and realise just how far you've come. This of course goes beyond football, and I'll tell you what, wrestling is pretty much specially curated for a dramatic career mode. Between all the rivalries and betrayals and all the narratives that keep you going for so long, it's like, it's peak cinema, basically. But WWE 2K15 came with an interesting problem. If you're actually really good at wrestling and living out a successful career mode, the game will tell you to piss off and go home. Your end goal in WWE 2K15's career mode is to win the WWE Championship. If you manage to get there and take the belt, then congratulations, champ, you've played the game exactly as intended and got the reward that you would have expected. But if you squint and look at the horizon, you might be able to make out the dramatic twist that is hurtling towards you at inexplicable speed. The moment you win the title fight, the game immediately fast forwards you straight to retirement. No long reign as the champion, no endless title defenses, no chance to enjoy the reality that you have in fact reached the top. You've beaten the system too well, and the game turfs you out for it. The craziest part is that if you don't win the top prize right away, WWE 2K15 actually lets you carry on playing. You can have a longer, more fulfilling, more varied career by just losing a bit more often. Meaning that the optimal, non-speedrun way of experiencing the game is to be not quite good enough to win. Did the developers not expect anyone to win the title so fast? Fans asked, and yeah, it's not a glitch or anything, it's a deliberately creative decision. Somehow. In what world does losing give me more game to play? It does not take a genius to work out what the goal of a racing game is. In almost every racing game ever made, you're trying to get into first place and then stay there long enough until you cross the finish line. That is just how you win. You win by being the fastest. It cannot be any more complicated than that. Well, nah, fuck that, because Mario Kart plays by its own rules and it really doesn't like anyone being in first place. Never mind that someone literally has to be in first place for it to be considered a race and for there to be something that is worth racing for. But Mario Kart has so many measures in place specifically designed to punish the poor sucker who ends up in first. I'll start with the most obvious and go from there. The blue shell is an item that is quite literally designed to mess with first place, usually launched forward by someone further down the pack in like 7th or 8th who have no real desire to hunt down first, or at least not in the same way as someone in like 3rd or 2nd might. The blue shell is the great equalizer, the punishment for a dominant player that can be avoided with the right items or the right knowledge, but even away from the blue shell specifically, everyone behind you is being gifted red shells, lightning strikes, bullet bills, at the same time as you're rationing defensive items like bananas and some money. It's not like I can throw the coin behind me, can I? Could I bribe them? Has anyone tried that? Leading a race in Mario Kart paints such a giant target on your back that is made easier to hit given the huge disparity in items, and if that's still not working, the game will just unleash the infamous rubber band AI against human opponents. Even if you're way out in front, AI racers will claw their way back into contention by just being faster than you, because even when you're playing by yourself, you gotta have that drama, right? Is that why you're playing? The drama? Oh, it's all so dramatic, I love it. What's the point of anything if you're not fighting for your life the whole time? And that does kind of get to the root of the problem with Mario Kart. Being in first place just isn't as fun as chasing down first place. Mario Kart World demonstrates this issue as clear as day. Why would you ever stay out in front when lower positions get all the good items and can take some of these huge shortcuts? You can cut out giant portions of the racetrack, but first place just has to sit there and drive in a straight line. It's not a game of going fast, it's a game of biding your time and letting someone else soak up all this abuse so that you can slide into first on the final corner. Mario Kart isn't a racing game, it's a party game pretending to be a racing game that has to keep everything fun and exciting at all times. I guess there's some skill to timing your move to the front though. It's secretly Formula 1 in disguise, tell no one. There are few more satisfying achievements in gaming than hitting 100%. It's a sign that you've really enjoyed a game, because you kind of have to love something to scour every corner of the game world, and to have collected every tiny secret, and to have beaten every challenge that it could possibly throw at you. Not every game gives you a reward or some kind of significant acknowledgement for your efforts, but sometimes just seeing a percentage clear that reads 100, yeah, that'll do nicely. Most games out there live by these rules, but sadly not cult classic 80s hit Ravenskull, a charming puzzle adventure game where you wander around some mazes and do a lot of exploring on the BBC Micro. Yeah, the BBC made a games console PC thing, which might be why Ravenskull is fucking broken. Is this what the license fee went on? I want my parents' money back, please. Ravenskull isn't anything remarkable, and certainly wouldn't have its page in the history books if it wasn't for one particularly brutal glitch. If you somehow manage to collect every single last significant thing in Ravenskull, your fully 100% run is actually recorded in the game as 0% completion. Yeah, that's right, the harder you worked, the more the game takes away from you. You can spend hours upon hours combing through every level, carefully picking up every last collectible, only for Ravenskull to look down upon you with disgust and declare that you've actually done nothing. It's a disappointed dad with standards that are way too high. What makes this even worse is the fact that it wasn't intentional from the developers. MGS5 might be outsmarting you and Mario Kart might have its fucked up views on game balance, but this is just a glitch, an accidental punishment that completely destroys the endgame. Most games roll out the red carpet and set off fireworks if you get to 100%, but Ravenskull just sidesteps your achievement entirely. This may be the only game ever made where perfection means nothing.